the Third Philippine Republic, the administration of President Magsaysay to President Garcia, and the administration of President Macapagal and President Marcos. The Third Philippine Republic of the Philippines was inaugurated on July 4, 1946. It marked the culmination of the peaceful campaign for Philippine independence. The two landmarks of which were the enactment of the Jones Law in 1916, in which the U.S. Congress pledged independence for the Philippines once Filipinos have proven their capability for self-government, and the Philippine Independence Act of 1934, popularly known as the Tidings-McDuffie Act, which put in place a 10-year transition period during which the Philippines had Commonwealth status. The Third Republic also marked the recognition of the global community of nations, of the nationhood of the Philippines, a process that began when the Commonwealth of the Philippines joined the Anti-Axis Alliance known as the United Nations on June 14, 1942, receiving recognition as an allied nation even before independence. Thus, the inauguration of the Philippine Republic marked the fulfillment of the long struggle for independence that began with the Philippine Revolution on August 23, 1896, and which was formalized on June 12, 1898, with the proclamation of Philippine independence at Kawit, Cavite. From 1946 to 1961, Independence Day was celebrated on July 4. On May 12, 1962, President Diosdado Macapagal issued Proclamation No. 28, Series of 1962, which declared June 12 as Independence Day. In 1964, Congress passed Republic Act No. 4166, which formally designated June 12 of every year as the date on which we celebrate Philippine independence. July 4 in turn has been observed as Republic Day since then. The Magsaysay administration. To help the rural masses was the focal point of the populist administration of President Ramon Magsaysay. President Magsaysay insisted in meeting and communicating with his people. In his first executive order, he established the Presidential Complaint and Action Commission, which investigated various citizen complaints and recommended remedial actions through different government agencies. The commission served to boost the nation's confidence with its government. It was seen as a fulfillment of President Magsaysay's promise stated in his inaugural address to become a president for the people. The principles of Magsaysay administration were codified in the Magsaysay Credo and became the theme of leadership and service. Among the accomplishments of the Magsaysay administration were the Social Security Law of 1954 or Republic Act 1161 in an effort to solve the problems of communism and insurgency. President Magsaysay sought to protect the farmers through the creation of laws such as the Agricultural Tenancy Act of the Philippines or Republic Act 1199, the Land Reform Act of 1955 through Republic Act No. 1400, the formation of the Court of Agrarian Relations through Republic Act 1267, and the National Resettlement and Rehabilitation Administration or the NARA through Republic Act 1160. The administration achieved victory over insurgents with the surrender of Huk leader Luis Tarok in 1954. In the field of international diplomacy and defense, President Magsaysay, through the Manila Pact of 1954 or the Southeast Asia Collective Defense Treaty, led the establishment of the Southeast Asian Treaty Organization or the SEATO. The Laurel-Langley Agreement, signed during the Magsaysay administration, gave the Philippines a presidential trade system with the United States and other countries. Among its provisions were the right to impose quotas on non-quota articles and the right to impose export taxes. On March 17, 1957, President Magsaysay and 25 other passengers on the presidential plane Mount Pinatubo perished in a crash at Mount Manunggal, Cebu. Vice President Carlos P. Garcia succeeded to the presidency on March 18, 1957. The Garcia administration. President Carlos P. Garcia in his inaugural address sought to help and support the masses in accomplishing the tremendous responsibilities of the presidency and in carrying the legacy of the Magsaysay administration. President Garcia used the momentum of the previous administration's campaign on social welfare and signed the amendment of the Social Security Law through Republic Act 1792, establishing the Social Security System on September 1, 1957. President Garcia ran for presidential elections of 1957. It was the first time in electoral history where there were four serious contenders to the presidency, namely Jose Yolo, Claro M. Recto, Manuel Manahan, and President Garcia. The incumbent president won the elections with 41.3% of the electorate. It was the first time that the president was elected by plurality of candidates instead of a majority vote. It was also the first time where the elected president and vice president did not come from the same political party. President Garcia was a nacionalista and Vice President Diosdado Macapagal a liberal. The Garcia administration promoted the first Filipino policy, whose focal point was to regain economic independence, a national effort by Filipinos to obtain major and dominant participation in their economy. The administration campaigned for the citizens' support in patronizing Filipino products and services and implemented import and currency controls favorable for Filipino industries. In connection with the government's goal of self-sufficiency was the austerity program, which President Garcia described in his first State of the Nation address as more work, more thrift, and more productive investment, and more efficiency that aimed to mobilize national savings. The Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act through Republic Act 301 aimed to prevent corruption and promote honesty and public trust. Another achievement of the Garcia administration was the Bolin-Serrano Agreement of 1959, which shortened the term of lease of the U.S. military bases in the country from the previous 99 to 25 years. President Garcia lost to Vice President Diosdado Macapagal in the presidential race of 1961. The Macapagal administration. President Diosdado Macapagal, during his inaugural address on December 30, 1961, emphasized the responsibilities and goals to be attained in the new era that was the Macapagal administration. He reiterated his resolve to eradicate corruption and assure the public that honesty would prevail in his presidency. President Macapagal too aimed at self-sufficiency and the promotion of every citizen's welfare through the partnership of the government and private sector, and to alleviate poverty by providing solutions for unemployment. Among the laws passed during the Macapagal administration were Republic Act 3844 or the Agricultural Land Reform Code, an act that established the Land Bank of the Philippines. Republic Act 3466, which established the Emergency Employment Administration. Republic Act 3518, which established the Philippine Veterans Bank. And Republic Act 3470, which established the National Cottage Industry Development Authority, or the NACEDA, to organize, revive, and promote the establishment of local cottage industries. And Republic Act 4156, which established the Philippine National Railways, or the PNR, to operate the National Railroad and tramways. The administration lifted foreign exchange control as part of the decontrol program in an attempt to promote national economic stability and growth. In the field of foreign relations, the Philippines became a founding member of the MAPILINDO through the Manila Accord of 1963. The regional organization of Malay states strove for Asian solutions by Asian nations for Asian problems and aimed to solve national and regional problems through regional diplomacy. The Macapagal administration closed with the presidential elections of 1965. The poor boy from Lubao was defeated by the nationalista candidate Ferdinand E. Marcos. The Marcos administration. The last president of the Third Republic of the Philippines was President Ferdinand E. Marcos. Prior to the events of martial law, the first term of the Marcos administration, as emphasized in his inaugural address on December 30, 1965, focused on the revival of the greatness of the nation. President Marcos, faced with the challenge of corruption in the government, reorganized the armed forces, the Philippine Constabulary, and the Bureau of Internal Revenue in an attempt to solve the problem of technical smuggling The Bureau of Customs was also organized. The administration, with a goal to strengthen the local economy, devised construction programs and irrigation projects. The promotion of Philippine heritage, culture, and arts was achieved through the establishment of the Cultural Center of the Philippines, or CCP, in 1969. Under the Marcos administration, the country hosted the Manila Summit in 1966. The conference aimed to resolve the Vietnam War and sought the restoration of peace and the promotion of economic stability and development throughout the Asia-Pacific region. Among the laws approved by President Marcos were Republic Act No. 5186, or the Investments Incentives Act, Republic Act 4864, or the Police Act of 1966, and Republic Act 5173, which established the Philippine Coast Guard. President Marcos won his re-election bid in 1969 presidential elections against Liberal Party Sergio Osmeña Jr. President Marcos gained 5,017,343 votes, or 61.47% of the electorate, to become only the second Philippine president in history to win re-election and the first to do so in the Third Republic. On the 30th of January 1970, to protest the violent dispersal of the student-led rally during the President Marcos' Fifth State of the Nation address 4 days earlier, a demonstration was held in front of Malacañang Palace. This event intensified into a protracted and vicious battle between authorities and the students who tried to storm the palace. A fire truck was rammed into one of the palace gates. Properties were destroyed and fires were started by the rallyists. 2 persons were reportedly killed and 106 were injured. The incident and the rallies thereafter became known as the First Quarter Storm, a period of unrest marked by a series of demonstrations against the Marcos administration. On November 27 of the same year, Blessed Pope Paul VI traveled to the Philippines, attending to the 63.2 million Filipino Catholic faithful. It marked the first time the head of the Catholic Church visited the country. Surviving an assassination attempt upon his arrival, the pontiff continued his Philippine visit. He officiated the first papal mass in the far east of the Manila Cathedral, as well as an open-air mass at the Rizal Park. As opposition to President Marcos grew significantly due to corruption in the administration, the Liberal Party then saw an opportunity in the midterm elections in 1971. The meeting de avance of the Liberal Party held at Plaza Miranda on August 21, 1971 was cut short when 2 bombs were hurled at the opposition candidates, killing 9 people and injuring about 100. Because of this incident, President Marcos suspended the writ of habeas corpus, leading to the arrest and incarceration of 20 people. The Plaza Miranda bombing, alongside the increasing strength of the Communist Party of the Philippines and its military wing, the New People's Army, and the Marcos staged ambush of the convoy of Secretary of Defense Juan Ponce Enrile on the night of September 22, 1972, were the pretext for Marcos' declaration of martial law on September 23, 1972, by virtue of Proclamation No. 1081. The said proclamation was dated September 21, when in fact it was only put into effect on September 23. The opponents of the administration were incarcerated, decree-making powers were asserted by the President, and when the ongoing Constitutional Convention produced a draft document, a series of barangay assemblies were held to prevent Congress from convening as scheduled in January 1973. After claiming approval of a new constitution, the dictatorship ordered the Congress padlocked. The ratification of the 1973 Constitution marked the end of the Third Republic and the beginning of the Bagong Lipunan. The new society, as the martial law regime was called under President Marcos. In 1981, through Proclamation No. 2045, martial law was lifted through the country and marked the beginning of the new or Fourth Republic of the Philippines. Before we end, let me leave you all with the inspirational message from Justice Marvic Leonen. Our silence, when we have the ability to speak, is in itself a cause of injustice. Goodbye everyone, keep safe and God bless.